At the beginning of this year, my life was normal. I was just your typical witch with a regular 9-to-5 job interviewing myths, legends, cryptids, and other creations of the human mind about their thoughts, feelings, hopes, and fears. What annoys you?
It's so hard to make guy friends. I can't go watch the football, too many crosses. Barbecues are out because someone always brings steaks. And when I try to just hang, people look at me funny because I like to do upside down from the rafters.
Why do humans deserve to be free?
I'm not entirely sure they do. They're always coming up with new people to order them about. I actually met the King of England once. Ghastly fellow. But then I never did get along with new money.
What's your unpopular opinion?
Time travellers are such hypocrites. Always worrying about how changing the past will affect the present, but never concerned with how changing the present will affect the future. They'll be back in 10,000 BK, or like, don't step on that bug, it could change the whole ecosystem. Meanwhile, they got there in a time machine that only does 5 weeks per gallon.
What don't you like about your job?
I hate that I have to give the rich kids more presents, but wealthy parents fund both parties in the Christmas Council. So whoever wins, Cornelius and Tabitha win. It sets a terrible precedent. A lot of people still confuse having money with being good, long after they've stopped believing in me.
What's your biggest weakness?
I don't like that word. No-ness is weak. I do struggle to connect with people though, so loneliness is accurate.
What's smart?
I had to sell my smart fridge. It kept calling the police.
Are humans losers?
Yes.
But their answers started to get stranger, and they began to fill me with a creeping dread. What worries you about the future?
I'm not sure I'll ever have enough saved for retirement. Plus, there's the growing darkness at the edge of things.
What worries you about the future?
The cost of living is insane. I'm earning more than I was 5 years ago, but living worse. Plus, the light is fading at the corners of reality.
And then it happened. What worries you about the future?
House prices are insane. I'm not sure my kids will ever be able to afford their own cave. Plus, there's an increasing dimness at the periphery. Something bad is coming.
Something really bad is coming.
It's here.
The elder Dachshund was born to sate the Atom of Void's loneliness, and he in turn created everything to deal with his. But now he wishes to be reunited with his old friend, Nothing. He is willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that. The giant space dog wishes to consume us all. But I, for one, do not want my existence to end in mastication. I decided to fight, and I asked my faux fictional friends to fight with me. Will you stand with us?
Yes, so no doubt he's the king of virtues.
Will you stand with us?
I will do whatever is necessary to protect my investments.
Will you stand with us?
I mean, I am a human most of the time, and I tend to go with the flow. So yeah, probably, I guess.
After all, who better to stand against the monster that created us than the monsters that we've created? Since then, we've repelled a unicorn invasion, inspired a mole man uprising, saved Christmas, introduced a cult to something better than Kool-Aid, created friendships, and created friends. And I've realised that the creatures we created have a lot to teach us about ourselves. Should we worry about technology?
I feel like algorithms strike me down. They bombard me with content based on who they think I am, which makes it harder to become the person I want to be.
How can I find something?
People regularly search for answers without realizing that if you ask yourself something, you get to decide what the response is. What's the meaning of life is not a quiz question. It's a creative writing assignment.
What is freedom?
Mathematics. Abstraction frees you from the shackles of reality.
What is freedom?
Art. Abstraction frees you from the shackles of reality.
What does it mean to be pragmatic?
It depends on the stakes. Pursuing an impossible dream is more pragmatic than enduring a waking nightmare.
What annoys you?
The human tendency to confuse good fortune with personal virtue.
Which leads people to the incorrect belief that they deserve what they have.
And that those who have less are lesser.
And squirrels.
They're way too good at climbing.
It's not fair.
Should we worry about technology?
I might take your job, but do you know what I don't take? Your paycheck. Someone else keeps that.
How do I win an argument?
You can't. All mortal arguments are circular by nature, based on the premise that the past will resemble the future, which can only be justified using the premise that the past will resemble the future. The sun will rise tomorrow because it always has, and things will continue as they always have because they always have.
What gives you purpose?
People think we stick around after death because we can't let go of the past.
But we're not nostalgic for the lives we had.
We're haunted by the futures that were stolen from us.
What is nothing?
It's what those in charge want us to believe the alternative to this world is. History has ended, and expecting anything more than tinkering at the edges is utopian fantasy. The future hasn't happened yet, but they've stolen it from us already.
When the gnomes attacked, I recruited the Mushroom Army to fight alongside us. But I thought it wasn't enough. I thought it was over.
What do you want me to do?
Nothing. There's nothing you can do. We're going to lose.
Why did you tell me all that then?
Because it's beautiful. It's not enough, but it's beautiful. And soon it will be gone. Overrun by gnomes and then swallowed by a giant dog.
I thought nothing could defeat us if we stood together. I guess, in a way, I was right.
I was wrong.
Finally.
The Tooth Fairy's kin and their corgi steeds brought us a temporary reprieve. But we are not capable of ever fully extinguishing the Elder Daxon's threat. And besides, I'd started to sympathise with him.
How do you feel?
Nerve endies?
I meant, how do you feel about the Elder Daxon?
Well, I kind of want to give the biggest existential threat this planet has ever faced a hug. So conflicted, I guess. The existence of the fairy realm gave me an idea. If there are multiple universes out there, one of them must contain nothing. Perhaps we win not by defeating the giant space dog who wishes to consume us all, but by giving him what he wants. So began my search for the mouse, who seeks to cut our world off from the multiverse due to his belief that other realms infringe on his intellectual property by their mere existence. He has the portal to the hub realm. He has the forest jar. But I'm unsure. Recently, the father of the best ape I know imprisoned the best lizard I know. How can someone surrounded by so much good remain so bad? Is it just in our nature to create creatures and systems that will eventually lead to our doom, regardless of the Elder Daxon's intervention? Are people even worth saving?
I don't know. We're in a fight for our lives, and we can't throw a decent punch because we're too busy hitting ourselves.
I thought a strike was in the ape workers' best interest, but they fought and suffered and I walked away free. Is our search for the forest jar the same? Are we risking the multiverse to save ourselves?
I've never believed that history has ended. But with a past like ours, maybe it should.
King Kong said that. Well, I guess you should probably ask some other people. I'm not sure he's fully recovered from recent events.